Men and women, two separate genders, each playing a different role in society, whether we realize it or not. The question is, are we trying too hard to make men and women equal? Will this really benefit us in the long run? We were not created to do the same things, and that's okay. One day gender roles are going to be completely blended. This may not seem like such a bad thing, but I think it's a little worse than what appears on the surface. Today I want to present to you information regarding radical feminism and hopes to motivate you guys to not treat everything as a competition. I want to read a list of lies feminism is feeding young women. I pulled this information from an article called 10 Lies of Feminism, but I've narrowed it down to 6. Lie number 1. Women can have it all. Women have the capability of handling a career, family, friendships, a household, therefore making us the superior sex. Here's a quote from the article 10 Lies of Feminism. Proponents of feminism declared that not only can women do what men do, but we ought to do what men do. It wasn't enough. They were already exhausted from the never-ending task of child-rearing and homemaking. We were told that women need to be in the workforce as well, contributing to the family financially. With this mindset, we're not even shooting for equality, we're simply striving to be better than our male counterparts. Lie number 2. Men and women are fundamentally the same. Feminists say that culture is to blame for, and again, 10 Lies of Feminism worded this the best, that culture is to blame for turning blank human slates into truck-wielding boys and doll-toting girls. The truth is that the male and female brains really are wired differently. There is now scientific evidence proving that men have different reactions and women have different reactions to certain situations. Researchers at UCLA have proven and continue to prove this. I pulled these statistics from newsroom.ucla.edu. There's another test being done that shows how women's bodies differ from men's bodies regarding muscle characteristics. Women are only 59% as strong as men, and we have 25 to 45% smaller muscles than men. Let's put this into perspective. We wouldn't expect a woman to run a mile as fast as a man, right? That would be a little bit unfair. Lie number 3. Desirability is enhanced by achievement. Being 20 and in college, I can personally testify to this one. Growing up, all I wanted to be was a stay-at-home mom and a housewife. But upon graduation, you can't just sit there and say, alright, I'm a wife now. It doesn't really work that way. Your only 2 options are to either go to school or go to work. I chose to go to school for my communications degree. When people find out that I'm a communications major, I often get that question, okay, so what are you going to do with that? I'll be honest, it's a little discouraging. I look around and I see women who are going for their doctorate's degree and they're professionals in their career. So I often find myself asking if I even compare. Young girls shouldn't feel bad for desiring to do what they were ultimately created to do. Lie number 4, denial of maternity. Women have God-given characteristics, and that is childbearing. Not all women can bear children, but men cannot bear children. The Bible even says to be fruitful and multiply. Genesis 15:1-28. On another note, men and women are finding themselves working 40+ hours a week. So where does that mean the children go? Numerous amounts of children are finding themselves in child care. I even have a friend in child care and she said it's very overflowed. In these daycare centers, you can't really teach children what's right and what's wrong, how to be responsible, what's moral, what's immoral. The primary responsibility of raising kids falls on the parent. Lie number 6. Women would enjoy the feminization of men. Let's be honest. Feminism is stripping men of their masculinity. I have another personal testimony for you guys. These last 2 semesters at college, I've noticed a less and less number of guys will hold the door open for me. And it might seem like a really simple act, but I just kind of expect that to be a gentlemanly thing to do. And even walking down the sidewalk, guys will do everything in their power to avoid eye contact with me. They'll look to the opposite direction and they'll look down at the ground. I was talking to a male coworker at work about the situation one day, and he straight up told me that it's because men are scared of women. He said that they're scared that we will cause a scene because we can open our own doors and we don't need attention from a man. Feminists have tried to close the gap between men and women by women becoming more masculine and men becoming more feminine. We have almost diminished the differences in typical gender roles. In closing, there's only one way to end feminism, and that's to stop the competition. We were given particular roles for a particular reason. If we didn't have these roles, would there even really be a need for the labels man and woman? We would just all be under one generic label. I want you to imagine a world where men and women work together to make up for what the other was lacking. All it takes is that first step. Stop changing how we were made we need to stop changing how we were made instead of doing what we believe will better ourselves. I want to challenge the audience, my generation especially, to start a trend of embracing your gender and your gender roles. Now women, that doesn't mean that you're limited to being a housewife and raising kids. We can work and create opportunities for ourselves, but let's not let the goal of ourselves be to outdo men. Thank you. Okay. Here's note 1, the back side. Note 2, back. And note card 3, and the back.